You have felt it, haven't you? A quiet shift inside you. Something subtle, yet undeniable. Not a loud awakening, not a dramatic collapse, but a movement so gentle, it almost feels like breath, like light bending inwards, like an inner temple opening after years of being locked. You don't announce this kind of awakening to the world. You don't post about it. You don't run around telling everyone how much you've changed. Because deep awakening never rushes to be seen. It deepens itself in silence. It softens. It matures. It roots. There comes a moment on the spiritual path when your soul whispers, "Guard this. Protect this. Do not expose this to noise." Because awakening is not fragile, but it is sacred. And everything sacred asks for stillness. Everything sacred requires protection. Swami Radha taught one truth over and over again. Some revelations are not meant for the world. They are meant for the inner being to be held, cultivated, and quietly lived. You are entering that phase now. You may not have publicly changed. You may look the same on the outside. Your life might still seem ordinary to others. But inside, something immense is rearranging itself. You feel less drawn to crowds, less interested in convincing anyone of anything, less willing to explain your heart, your intuition, your vision. Because awakening is not a performance. It is a remembrance. A remembering of who you truly are beneath wounds, expectations, stories, and illusions. And when this remembrance begins, life gives you 5 truths. Not to share, not to debate, not to prove, but to guard in silence. Because if you hold them gently, they will guide you to your highest becoming. They will reshape your destiny. The first truth quietly appears when you realize you no longer crave validation from people who never understood you. You feel a soft detachment, not bitterness, not anger, just understanding. You no longer chase anyone's approval. You no longer argue with people who refuse to see your soul. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into small spaces or old identities. It happens suddenly, a moment of clarity, a moment of breath, when you discover that peace feels better than proving yourself. This is the first truth of awakening. Your inner voice becomes louder than the world's noise. And the moment this truth awakens in you, life starts testing you. It brings old patterns, old people, old fears. Not to break you, but to show you who you no longer are. Your silence during this time is not weakness. It is spiritual refinement. It is the polishing of your inner mirror. It is your soul whispering, "I am becoming someone new." What's not a punishment, but a redirection, a clearing, an initiation. The people who left you were not meant to stay for your awakening. The people who betrayed you were not meant to stand beside your soul's expansion. The people who misunderstood you were not meant to walk into your higher chapter. And suddenly, for the first time, you do not resent any of it. Profound gratitude for the ways life guided you when you didn't even know you were being guided. This is the gift of the second truth. You see that life was never against you. It was preparing you. You feel it in your bones, the gentle rearranging of destiny, the quiet orchestration behind the scenes. The way every closed door had a purpose, even if it didn't make sense back then. And because you now see the hidden intelligence behind your suffering, you stop announcing your healing to others. You stop trying to justify your past. You simply walk forward, softer, wiser, emptied of bitterness. This wisdom is not meant to be spoken wildly. It is meant to be carried like sacred fire. The third truth comes silently, yet it changes everything. You begin to trust your intuition above everything else. Not because someone told you to, not because you read it in a book, but because you finally feel the difference between the voice of fear and the voice of your soul. You feel the shift inside you. You say no without guilt. You say yes without anxiety. You stop asking others for permission to follow what you already know. Your intuition becomes your compass, your guide, your teacher. And here is the sacred part. You will never always be able to explain your intuition to others. You will not always have the language to justify it. You will not always have evidence to validate it. But you don't need to anymore. Awakening makes your intuition so sharp, so alive, so rooted, that you quietly begin to trust it more than logic, more than opinions, more than expectations. This is why the third truth must be guarded in silence. Not everyone is ready to understand choices made from the soul. Some people only understand choices made from fear, from conformity, from old identities. Your awakening will not make sense to them, and it shouldn't, because your journey is not theirs. The fourth truth is the most delicate one. Your heart becomes attuned to energy, not words, not promises, not appearances. You start feeling the intentions behind people's behavior. You sense the truth without needing explanations. You see beyond masks. You begin to recognize who drains your spirit, who nourishes it, who respects your soul, and who only seeks your energy for their own emptiness. And suddenly, you start releasing people without hostility, not because you don't care, but because you finally do, about your peace, your clarity, your sacred path. This truth transforms your relationships completely. You don't ask for closure anymore. You don't chase half-hearted connections. You don't negotiate your worth. You simply allow life to rearrange your circle. This is why the fourth truth must be guarded in silence. Your boundaries will confuse people who benefited from your lack of them. Don't explain. Don't argue. Don't justify. Just walk. The fifth truth comes with profound stillness. You finally understand that solitude is not loneliness. It is spiritual nourishment. It is the place where your soul breathes, the place where your vision returns, the place where your power awakens. You start craving quiet mornings, warm tea, uninterrupted thought, soft light, simple conversations. Moments where nothing is happening on the outside, but everything is transforming on the inside. Solitude becomes your sanctuary, your teacher, your temple. This is the truth most people misunderstand. They think solitude is emptiness. They think silence is absence. They think stillness is stagnation. But you now know the secret. Solitude is how the universe prepares you for your highest destiny. It is the place where your old identity falls away, where your wounds loosen their grip, where your intuition becomes louder, where your heart becomes lighter, where your spirit becomes whole. And because solitude is the birthplace of your rebirth, you keep it sacred. You guard it. You protect it. You don't let noise interrupt it. These 5 truths are not to be spoken loudly. They are to be lived. They are to be carried quietly, like jewels hidden beneath your ribs. Awakening does not want an audience. It wants devotion. It wants presence. It wants sincerity. If you're awakening, guard these truths in silence, not because the world is unworthy of them, but because you are worthy of the space to grow without intrusion. You are no longer who you were, and yet you are not fully who you are becoming. You are in the sacred in-between, the chrysalis, the womb of transformation, the divine pause. And in this space, the universe speaks in whispers, not in thunder, not in chaos, not in noise, in whispers, and only a silent heart can hear them. You are awakening, not loudly, but deeply. Let the world think you are quiet. Let the world assume you have stepped back. Let the world misunderstand your silence. Because you know the truth. Your silence is not withdrawal. It is initiation. It is alignment. It is the opening of your inner temple. And when you rise, you will not need to announce it. Your presence will speak for you. Your energy will speak for you. Your peace will speak for you. This is the path of the awakened. This is the path of those chosen to see beyond the surface. This is the path Swami Radha dedicated her life to. Walk it gently. Walk it consciously. Walk it silently. Because your becoming is already unfolding. And destiny is already watching. There is a moment in every true awakening when the outer world becomes strangely quiet, and the inner world becomes impossibly loud. Not loud with chaos or fear, but with knowing, with clarity, with an inner presence that feels both ancient and brand new. As if you have stepped into a deeper layer of yourself, the layer that has been waiting for you to finally arrive. You begin to move differently. You speak differently. You respond differently. You choose differently. And most importantly, you see differently. Awakening sharpens your perception. Your intuition becomes more precise. Your spirit becomes more discerning. Your boundaries become cleaner. Your heart becomes wiser. But this refinement doesn't announce itself. It unfolds in quiet moments, during early mornings when you sit alone, during evenings when the world grows dim, during small pauses when you suddenly feel a truth settling inside your chest without explanation. This is why the awakened soul learns the art of sacred silence. Not silence as avoidance, not silence as suppression, but silence as protection, silence as reverence, silence as a vessel for inner truth. Because some things grow only when they are sheltered, and your awakening is one of them. The first thing you start noticing in this new phase is how easily drained you become around certain energies. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel heavy. Spaces that once felt familiar now feel misaligned. Habits that once felt comforting now feel restrictive. It isn't sensitivity. It's spiritual intelligence. You are tuning out the frequencies that once kept you stuck. Your spirit is rejecting anything that cannot travel with you into the next chapter. You feel this rejection in your body, a tightening, a shrinking, a quiet discomfort that whispers, "Not this, not anymore." And when this inner refusal awakens, something else awakens with it. The instinct to withdraw. Not to escape, but to preserve. Not to hide, but to heal. Not to disconnect from the world, but to connect with yourself. Awakening teaches you that preservation is a form of devotion. As Swami Radha taught, the soul does not grow in noise. It grows in attentive silence. Your attentive silence is your new sanctuary. Then comes another shift. the unexplainable urge to stop participating in emotional battles that no longer belong to you. You stop entering arguments you've outgrown. You stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop proving your worth. You stop proving your effort. You stop proving your heart. Because the awakened soul realizes a divine truth. What is real does not need defending. What is aligned does not need forcing. What is yours does not need chasing. You start walking away, gently, gracefully, without drama. And your silence becomes your boundary. People who once fed on your energy may not understand this sudden quiet. They may think you're distant, detached, uninterested, or hardened. But you're not hardened, you are softened in the right direction. Softened inward. Softened toward soul. Softened toward truth. Not everyone deserves access to this version of you. Not everyone is meant to stand in the presence of someone who is awakening. Awakening is not elitism. It is alignment. It is the simple recognition that your energy is precious and that you can no longer offer it to places that cannot hold it. Then comes the most mysterious part. Your dreams become more vivid. Your synchronicities multiply. Your inner voice becomes not only louder, but more prophetic. You start hearing guidance that does not come from thought. You start seeing signs that do not come from coincidence. You begin to sense the unfolding of destiny long before it arrives. And here is the sacred secret most people do not know. Awakening strengthens your intuition to the point where you no longer need external confirmation for your inner decisions. This can be unsettling at first. You may feel like you are walking into the unknown without a map, without guarantees, without validation. But what you actually discover is this: the unknown is no longer frightening. It becomes magnetic, inviting, alive. Because the awakened soul isn't seeking comfort, it is seeking truth. This is why advanced awakenings are accompanied by the deep urge to protect your inner revelations, not because they are too fragile, but because the world is too loud. In this silence, you begin to witness the fourth mysterious transformation. Your emotional attachments start dissolving, not the meaningful bonds. They deepen. But the unhealthy attachments, the ones built on fear, validation, or loneliness, begin to fall away. You no longer chase after people who do not choose you. You no longer anchor yourself in relationships that drain your spirit. You no longer hold on to connections out of habit or nostalgia. Instead, you step into a new kind of freedom. The freedom to let go without losing yourself. This happens quietly. No dramatic breakups, no emotional explosions, no declarations. Just a soft closing of energetic doors. Just a gentle reclaiming of your heart. Just a peaceful acceptance that not all souls are meant to accompany you into your next evolution. And this acceptance is what transforms you. For the first time, you understand that letting go is not abandonment. It is alignment. It is sacred direction. It is the universe clearing space for something more honest, more resonant, more nourishing. This clarity is not meant to be shared loudly, because few understand it. Unawakened souls seek connection from emptiness. Awakening souls seek connection from fullness. Your fullness will intimidate those still attached to their emptiness. And this is why the awakened remain selective, discerning, careful. Not guarded, discerning. Not distrustful, aware. Not cold, conscious. Consciousness. changes your relationship with love, friendship, community, and intimacy. You start valuing depth over attention, energy over appearances, truth over convenience. Your circle becomes smaller but infinitely more soulful. Then comes the fifth truth the universe offers quietly. You realize you are being reshaped for a higher purpose, one that cannot be rushed, performed, or forced. You begin to feel a pull deep inside your chest. A pull towards something more meaningful than your past, something more aligned than your old habits, something more authentic than the identity you once wore to survive. This pull guides your decisions. It simplifies your desires. It brings you closer to your essence. You notice you want different things now. Less noise, more clarity. Less approval, more authenticity. Less stimulation, more presence. Less distraction, more devotion. And this devotion is the secret of awakening. It is not devotion to a person or a belief or a ritual. It is devotion to truth, the truth of who you are becoming, the truth of who you have always been beneath conditioning, the truth of the soul that existed before fear shaped your choices. Awakening is the journey of returning to yourself, not the self shaped by pain, but the self shaped by light. Swami Radha taught that awakening is not about adding more, doing more, or becoming more. It is about shedding what is false until only the truth remains. This shedding happens in silence. It happens in the spaces where no one can see you. It happens in the places where you sit with your soul and finally say, I am ready. Ready to release who you were. Ready to embody who you are. Ready to protect the truths that can only grow in quiet soil. And as you guard these truths, you begin to notice a quiet miracle. Your life starts aligning with your inner world. The chaos becomes less chaotic. Opportunities feel more aligned. People who resonate with your frequency begin to appear. Your intuition opens doors. Your energy attracts ease. Your silence becomes magnetic. You are entering the phase where life arranges itself around your spirit, not your fears, not your wounds, not your doubts, but your spirit. And this is why awakening must be protected. This is why these truths are to be guarded in silence. Because the most powerful transformations happen unseen. The most profound healings happen unspoken. The most sacred shifts happen quietly, gently, lovingly, inside. And when the time comes for your transformation to be revealed, you won't need to say a word. Your presence will carry it. Your energy will radiate it. Your choices will express it. Your peace will confirm it. You are not awakening for others to notice. You are awakening for your soul to breathe. Guard your inner voice. Guard your intuition. Guard your sacred solitude. Guard your emotional clarity. Guard the truths that the universe entrusted to you. Because you are not awakening accidentally. You are awakening because your destiny requires the highest version of you. The version that can only emerge through stillness, silence, and unwavering inner trust. Your awakening is not a phase. It is your becoming. And your becoming is already unfolding, beautifully, silently. Inevitably, walk gently, walk inward, walk with reverence. Your soul is speaking. Your path is opening. Your higher self is rising. And destiny is ready to receive you.